Hello again and welcome to DanWhiteBooks. It's that time of the year, the end of the year, and I'm having myself a little rewards ceremony. The smallest on record, I dare say. It's only me, the camera, and you. We're all gathered here today to celebrate my favourite reads of 2021. I'd like to add that this will not only include books published from this year, but all those that I've read in the past 12 months. Should you wish to learn more about any book on this list, please see my video description for further information, and of course subscribe for all my reviews in the coming year. So without further ado, let's take a look at my favourite reads from 2021. And let's begin. Coming in at number 10, we have Piranesi by Susanna Clarke, a book I reviewed on this channel and pronounced the title completely wrong. At least I think I did. I've learned much in the past year, the pronunciation of that book being one thing among many. This is definitely not a reshoot. Piranesi tells the tale of an alternate reality where statues and halls tower in all directions, a place where waves crash among the lower floors and clouds merge seamlessly with historical-esque architecture. The lead character, known as Piranesi, accepts this world as his own and explores the labyrinth with profound curiosity and the utmost of respect. This is a book that leans strongly to fantasy with just a dash of science fiction thrown in for good measure. It is a blissful reading experience that takes you far away from your waking life, as any great book should. At number 9, we have The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle by legendary Japanese author Haruki Murakami. I read this book way back in February, and it is still tossing about in my mind. This was the second Murakami book I'd read, and despite its rather confusing and mystical narrative, author Murakami keeps your eyes glued to the page. The world around you feels so similar to the one we inhabit now, yet is misted in some deep and beautiful fantasy. It's a place where adventure calls and mystery lurks. Central character Toro embarks on a strange mystery quest to find his missing wife. It is bizarrely beautiful and has certainly left its mark on me, even still. At number 8, we have the incredibly moving Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro, a tale of an artificial machine, or artificial friend as it's called in the book, called Clara. The magic in this book comes in the way Ishiguro captures the notion of being born into a completely new world. In Clara, you see an intelligent individual who's coming to terms with everything around her. This merge of innocence with adulthood creates for a very emotive piece, as Clara uses her very limited understanding of the world to best help and care for her assigned child called Josie. Set in a morally askew future, Ishiguro brings you to a world where technology and its implications hang in a balance of both good and bad, right and wrong. Number 7 is a very highly popular work from this year, that being Matt Haig's The Midnight Library. Imagine a place where you could live out alternate choices you'd turn down or fail to pursue in life. Main character Nora Seed finds herself in such a place, a library with thousands of books, each donating a life that she'd never lived. This is a highly digestible book and could be read in a day if it took your fancy. While it does lack the depth of other works, it conveys a strong sense of empathy with the reader and captures the struggle one can face when jaded by a bleak and unyielding perspective of life. Number 6 is a book I've not long finished, Cloud Cuckoo Land by Anthony Dewar. This is a book with a little bit of everything, and in each genre the writing is done brilliantly. Cloud Cuckoo Land is a long and twisting tale that has you exploring the past, present and future for humanity. It centralizes around an ancient text aptly named Cloud Cuckoo Land and will make you not only appreciate how far classical books have travelled through the centuries, but also their profound effect on humanity as a whole. It's a subtle nod in the book, and one that links all of our characters together in an epic and powerful piece of fiction, from the starship Argos to 14th century Constantinople. This book has a little bit of everything, and it's all implemented incredibly well. At number 5, we have a little classic of a book that is Ernest Hemingway's The Old Man and the Sea. Yes, this is my first encounter with Mr. Hemingway, and for such a short work, I was amazed at the depth of this story. On paper, this is a tale of an old man trying to redeem himself from a long period of fatigue and decline. But beyond that, far beyond that, there is far more at play. Santiago, as the character is called, sails out to sea and is determined beyond all else to capture a marlin and bring it back to shore. His struggle to redeem himself in the eyes of others, and indeed himself, is captivating and can be mirrored to the many inevitabilities we face in life, and in particular to that of old age. Despite this being a short work, no section is wasted, and every act adds an emotional depth to the plights of living and the struggles of main character Santiago. At number 4, we have a book I have only just reviewed on this channel, and that is The Promise by Damon Galgut. This book is quite unlike any other you may have read and takes a very free-flowing approach to its narrative. This may be a little disconcerting, however, Damon Galgut quite expertly uses his talent as a writer to create a very unique piece of literature that can not only be praised for its prose and its style of writing, but also in the manner it sheds light on the changing landscape of South Africa through the past 50 years. The book is a family drama or a family saga split into 4 sections, and certainly does not conform to the conventional structure of a modern novel. It takes place on a farm just outside of Pretoria and centralises around a broken promise made to the family maid Salome. This is also the Booker Prize winner this year, so I'd certainly recommend checking it out. Number 3 brings a rather sad tale indeed. It's The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. Looking back on this one, I remember it had me very much in tears near the end. This is a book walking a fine line between teenage and adult fiction. Some people call it a young adult book, but I think in doing so, it does not do it justice. For the emotional complexity and depth in this work is really something to behold. The book takes place in Germany near the beginning of World War II and is narrated by none other than death itself. This rather unique perspective, and indeed the empathy drawn from death, an end we all secretly fear, creates a beautiful and heart-wrenching piece of fiction that sets a focal point on the German civilians during one of the most horrific wars mankind has ever endured. It is in some senses an easy read, but at the same time those words draw and create a very moving work of literature, and I would certainly recommend you check this one out. And so, number 2... another heartbreaking read, and that is Shuggie Bain by Douglas Stewart. This book was actually the Booker Prize winner the year before this one now. When I read this book, it had a very powerful effect on me. I'm glad, despite being so late to reading it, I picked it up because it is quite exceptional. Shuggie Bain tells the tale of a young boy named Shug growing up in Glasgow in the 1980s. He lives in a chaotic home with his family before moving to a bleak mining community named Pithead with his mother Agnes. You take a front row seat on this one and see the desolation alcoholism and addiction can do to an individual and family. Shuggie's mother Agnes lives life from the bottom of the bottle, and nothing is sugar-coated here. You're going to get it as gritty and as bare as it comes. This story feels almost too real for comfort. Shug does his utmost to keep his mother alive and well despite his young age. The ending on this one is shocking and deeply emotional. If you can stomach it, definitely grab a copy of this book because it's an incredible rendition and bittersweet telling of a boy's want and love for his mother despite her many, many flaws. And here we are, number 1. Now, number 2, the book we just spoke about, Shuggie Bain, was actually my favourite book ever up until some months later in the year where this book right here knocked it off its perch. And here we are. Drum roll, please. It is a book published way back in 1925, and that is F. Scott Fitzgerald's masterwork, The Great Gatsby. This is a book I not only immensely enjoyed, but a piece that resonated in me and heavily related to things I've done in my own personal life. I suppose when books are rated this highly, the remaining points correlate only to the relevance they have on one's life, and this book is certainly one I will never forget. Set during the Jazz Age in Long Island, 1922, The Great Gatsby tells the tale of a wannabe Bond salesman named Nick Carraway, who moves into a prestigious neighborhood. His neighbor is a mysterious man called Jay Gatsby, an owner of an extravagant mansion next door. Most nights, luxurious parties can be heard, although Gatsby appears ever elusive. Nick receives an invitation one evening and experiences the true grandiose of Gatsby's lifestyle, although he notices the man does not indulge like everyone else around him. Now, this is one hell of a work, and I couldn't recommend it enough, particularly if you found yourself rather recklessly living in the pursuit of pleasure. It puts a smile on my face when I remember my read experience of this work, because it really was a pleasure. But make no mistake, this work certainly has its darker undertones. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching this top 10 video. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe below to follow my book reviews and discussions in the coming year. And should you wish to learn more about any of the books on this list, please check out my video description below. For those who watched last week's video, I am still reading The Man Who Died Twice by Richard Osman. I have actually finished that now, so I'm working on the review, and please expect that in the new year. I would just like to thank all of those who subscribed to my channel these past 12 months. Your support is, as always, very much appreciated, and I thank you for sticking with me. Now, all that is left for me to do is wish you a very happy new year. So, happy new year, my friends. May it bring us all much joy and much happiness. I will see you on the other side. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.